试一下。
Hello everyone, I'm Lam Liu.
I'm Liu Haochan.
Today, the article we present is Exploring the Complex Relationship Between Developmentally Appropriate Activities and Teacher-Child Interaction Quality in Rural Chinese Preschools. This is our content. At first, let's have a look at the research backgrounds. Actually, research has long supported the association between structural and process quality in early childhood education. And there is already a general consensus. However, we find that previous studies have not looked at how other components of structural quality interact with process quality. But as the example is actually a possible and meaningful research topic, so all above are the background of and what led to this research. Now it's come up to literature review. There are 4 parts of review here. The first one is the critical role of teacher-child interaction quality to children's development. Learning from the previous studies, we find that the quality of teacher-child interactions contribute to young children's social, emotional, behavioral, and cognitive development concurrently and longitudinally. We can also find that emotional support, classroom organization, and instructional support are 3 important and common domains in this kind of research. And also these 3 domains are applicable in this study. The second one is systematically unpacking provisions for learning in early childhood classrooms. In previous studies, Lee has put forward that provisions for learning represent the learning environment. And many studies utilize the Early Childhood Environment Rating Scale R, which we call it Exerce R, to do research. And it identifies 3 factors: activities, curriculum, and space and materials. Later, some scholars, including our Professor Hu, do some research to make the exercise applicable in China, and it changed into the Chinese Early Childhood Environment Rating Scale, which including space furnishing, curriculum planning, and implementation and activities. This C exercise is applicable in this study also. The next one is considering activities as a key mediator and moderator between provisions for learning and teacher-child interaction quality. In this part, there are 2 findings as demonstrated here. The last one is the current situation of rural ECE in China. In this part, we can find that rural ECE in China is not good for now. It has some problems like large class sizes and large child-to-teacher ratios. And in addition, rural ECE teachers, not all are degreed and most have not been trained or certified in ECE. The following part is research question. There are 3 here. The first one is, how does provisions for learning relate to teacher-child interaction quality, namely emotional support, classroom organization, and instructional support? The second one is, do activities mediate the association between SF-CPI and teacher-child interaction quality? The third one is, do SF or CPI moderate the associate between activities and teacher-child interaction quality? So how was this study implemented, and what are the research methods? The first part is sample. In this study, there were 59 preschools were randomly selected in Daming country. And from each preschool, is randomly selected 1 K1 classroom and 1 K2 classroom, resulting in a total sample of 118 classrooms. The second part is teacher survey. In this part, it utilized the online questionnaire, which contains 2 parts, that's characteristics of teachers and the classroom features. The next one is quality of space and facility, curriculum plan and activities. In this part, it utilizes the Chinese Early Childhood Environment Rating Scale. In the next part, teacher-child interaction quality, it utilizes the classroom assessment scoring system, pre-K. And the last one is analysis plan. As demonstrated, there are 4 rows of analysis. That's all my part. Now it's my partner's turn.
Okay, the following is the part of the research results. The research results of the first part have the following 4 points. First, 3 distinctive constructs were measured by the 3 subscales of circles. Second, all subscales of circles were highly correlated with each other. Next, all subscales of circles showed relatively moderate correlations with ES and IS. Finally, the correlations between CO and the 3 subscales of circles were not significant. The result of the second part is that SF and CPI separately moderated the relationship between activities and IS. The higher SF levels or CPI levels were, the more activities were predictive of IS. And the results of the third part are as follows. First, the effects of SF and CPI on ES and IS quality were mediated by activities. Second, SF and CPI have an indirect effects on ES and IS via activities. And the SF and the CPI each moderate the association between activities and IS. Such mediation and moderation analysis results offer rich implications for practice. Next is the research discussion part. In the first section of this part, the author believes that first, activities are a bridge between provisions for learning and interaction quality. Second, the key to improving teacher-child interaction quality in rural Chinese preschools may be to improve the quality of activities. There are several reasons that might explain why activities had full mediation effects on the association between SF or CPI and emotional and instructional support. Firstly, activities represents curricular activities in early childhood classrooms. The employment of activities represents the quality of a curriculum in early childhood classroom. Secondly, how teachers view children's approaches to learning and their role in guiding children to reach educational objectives in the teaching and learning process as the most important factor in teaching practices. Next, teachers' intentionality in planning the environment seem to carry over to their interactional processes. Finally, SF and CPI appear to be catalysts in terms of improving instructional support quality in Chinese rural EC through developmentally appropriate activities. Finally, the lack of sensitivity and child-centric approaches in teachers' behavioral interaction with children might have caused the lack of mediation effect from SF or CPI to classroom organization. In the second section of this part, the author points out the limitations of this research. First, given that the different populations of classrooms, the mediating effect of activities needs to be further confirmed in more early childhood classrooms in rural China. Second, this study did not find the effect of provision for learning on classroom organization, suggesting that some teachers' characteristics such as beliefs about children may have an influence on teachers' teaching practices in managing children's behavior and attention in rural Chinese preschools. The last part is the revelations of the study. Based on the above discussion, the author put forward corresponding revelations of the study. First, Only when teachers truly hold child-centered beliefs, their teaching practice will be positively influenced by them. Second, teachers need to be intentional when they attempt to use instructional strategies to increase children's thinking skills, problem-solving skills, and creativity. Use feedback strategies to increase children's conceptual understanding or increase their skills, and use language stimulation and language facilitation strategies to increase children's use of complex language skills. Thus, the interplay between these key components of effective teaching are evident. In addition, the author also pointed out one way to approach the needed shift is to assign each rural preschool teacher a coach who will provide on-site consultation on how to develop centers and come up with materials for each center, as well as how to use these materials to meet the learning needs of children. Teachers can then be coached on facilitating children's play and learning in the learning centers. These coaches can observe teachers in classroom and provide feedback on their interactions with the children during center time to make sure teachers know how to use strategies to interact with the children to enrich their play. That's all. Thank you.